Alright, so this is take 300 of me trying to, record an intro for you guys, but I think it's not necessary. It's a simple what's going on, guys. I'm gonna be starting a playlist with this video. Essentially, I'm just trying to keep it very real with you guys. This video will kick off a playlist on my channel that is just called, Trading Psychology. Because to me, trading psychology is actually one of the three main pillars of becoming a, constantly profitable trader. Just so that we talked about this, the three pillars of trading, from my experience, in my opinion, is having risk management, understanding market structure, and having a strategy. And number three would be trading psychology. You need to have all of these three things, from my experience at least, to be a profitable trader. If you have two of them and just one thing is lacking, you probably won't be constantly profitable. You are maybe like profitable sometimes, but then again, sometimes you lack profitability. But you need to have all these three things in sync in order to be a constantly profitable trader, at least from my understanding. And this playlist will just be about trading psychology. There's gonna be other playlists about understanding market structure and having risk management. All videos are completely for free, just for you guys. And when I say completely for free, I mean for free. You can see everything. I will, talk about everything that I know on this channel. So if you like this kind of approach from me, then you can show some appreciation by simply giving this video a thumbs up, liking it, comment what you wanna hear about. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel, because that way you can support me and tell me on that way that this is kind of cool for you. Anyways, I want to stop the yapping. I'm going to be talking about the first thing here with trading psychology, and that to me is a skill that, at least from what I've seen from my time on YouTube, is not talked about enough. Once again, that is just my opinion, right? Could be that you guys saw enough videos on that topic. Personally, I haven't, and I've seen a lot of videos, when I started trading. Alright, so what is this topic now? I guess you can already tell from the title or the thumbnail. This skill is one of the most important ones when it comes to trading psychology, from my opinion, and that is be able to be adaptive to the market. I'm just gonna let it sink in for a second, and I mean, I could potentially be a little bit contradictory here, but you will find out on why I don't think I'm actually contradictory here. But let me talk about this for a little bit. When you actually go about and try to become serious about trading, and you go on YouTube and you look for like 100% win rate strategy, which is non-existent, or like how to Forex, what is Forex a scam, and then you just go down this rabbit hole of trading, and you find a lot of videos, and you actually start to understand, okay, so you need risk management, you need a strategy, okay, what kind of strategy? And then you go even deeper, and then you look like, okay, strategy. And now you're actually one step ahead of the most people, and you actually start learning stuff. The only problem is that there's just an overwhelming amount of people here on YouTube talking about different strategies, and they're trying to sell you the holy grail. Once again, there is no holy grail. There's just systems that are working, and you need to find the system that works and suits best for you. And that's the thing. That's where I kind of become contradictory. You want to have something that is working for you, like your personal holy grail, but at the same time, I would be saying that you need to be able to adapt to the market. Why do I think that, and what do I mean by that? Well, with that, I simply mean, if you just, for example, are just a simple trend line breaking trader, right? And you simply just buy and sell whenever a trend line is broken, and maybe retest it and whatnot, what I'm saying? That is how you enter the market. First of all, by the way, if that's your system, or any of the following things is your system, and it's working for you, bro, totally fine. That's great. As long as you're making money, everything is fine. But what people often do is, if you, for example, are just this trend line trader, right? And you have some success at the beginning, and then you slowly, you get, losses eventually, which is normal. But you think, oh my god, bro, I'm doing something different, something is weird, this is not working, fuck, I need to, throw everything away, I need to find something new. No, you're not. You need to accept the fact that losses are normal, which is going to be a totally, separate video from this. But you need to accept the fact that there are losses. But what people tend to do is just switch up the strategy right away. That is not smart. What you need to understand, and that is the important thing here for the video, and then we will talk about being adaptive to the market, is your trading strategy should not be like printed black on white. you should have something that you can always rely on, your like number one strategy that you always want to use if you can. But it is way better, from my opinion, to also be able to adapt to the market and trade in any given situation, right? For example, if you are just a trendline breaking trader, what are you going to do if the market is ranging? I know that people, for example, might be saying, oh, you shouldn't be trading a ranging market. Yes, I totally get you, but from my experience and from what I believe, that is, you cannot just say, oh, never trade ranging markets, because it depends. If the range, just holds 2 pips in between and it's bouncing and bouncing and bouncing, of course, then you shouldn't be doing something like this. But if the range is, for example, in a, 20 plus pip range, why not, if you're a scalper, for example, consider looking for a system that works, right? Supply and demand, for example. Of course, eventually there's going to be a breakout or a false breakout, but just by being realistic about it, if you are in a range, and you're dropping from up and down, and yada yada yada, you go about it, you will most of the time find maybe key levels or supply and demand levels within this range where you can just take a trade, a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio, for example, and be done for the day. Why not try that? People would be saying then, yeah, because it's dangerous. Yes, of course, I totally get you and I agree with you. Trading ranging markets, for example, is more dangerous because it's less volume or whatnot, and there's no trend, and the trend is your friend. But this is also something. The trend is only your friend for as long as the trend is going on. As soon as the trend is starting going against you, you're asking yourself, what's going on? Like, you just entered base of a supply zone, for example, or because of a trend line break and whatnot and retest and blah blah, and then you just follow the trend, for example, and suddenly it breaks, and then you think, okay, what the fuck, why is that not working? And you're starting to look for something different. You need to understand that the market is doing way more than what is within your strategy. Sometimes it's totally fine to just be able to trade trend lines. Sometimes it is very good to know about support and resistance lines. Sometimes it's very good to know about all the ICT, SMC, liquidity grab thing, you know what I'm saying? It's just important to understand that you as a trader should have a toolbox. I always refer to my skills as a trader, may it be risk management, market structure, aka strategies, and number 3, psychology. You should have a toolbox, just like an engineer or something. You should have a toolbox filled with a lot of stuff. Be good at a lot of stuff. I'm totally on your side if you're saying you need to be an expert on something. That's great. It's great being an expert and having your number one strategy. That is perfect. But it is, what's even better than just being perfect at one strategy? It's like being very good / an expert with one strategy, but also being able to adapt to a different market, and also, and that's going to be another video in the future too, is like understand when you shouldn't be trading at all. Like, let's just say you have trend lines, you have liquidity grabs, you have supply and demand, you have support. It's all in your toolbox, right? It's good to have that because that means you can actually adapt and you can, see the market with various eyes, and therefore you can see a lot of opportunities. By the way, as a beginner, that could be a little bit overwhelming, but this, from my opinion, should be your long-term goal if you want to, day trade, like daily, up until when your capital is so big that you don't need to trade every day or like every 2-3 days, whatever the case may be. This can kind of become contradictory right now because on one hand I'm saying you should be an expert with one strategy, for example trend line breaks. You should exactly know how to draw your trend lines. You should exactly know when to sell, when to buy, whenever you're in a trend lining situation. And I'm saying that you should be an expert. On the other side, I also say you should go ahead and fill up your toolbox with a lot of strategies, so eventually you can trade every market that is given to you. You know what I'm saying? So if I were to give you a roadmap right now, if you're a beginner, intermediate, or even an expert, here's what I would do in your situation. If you're an absolute beginner and you just started out by trading, go and find one strategy for you. May it be supply and demand, may it be trend line breaks, may it be liquidity grabs, whatever the case may be, key levels, whatever the case may be. By the way, I have a toolbox with a lot of strategies and they are all coming to this YouTube channel for free. No nothing, it's all coming. So just subscribe to the channel and just wait, and I can help you filling up your toolbox. Once again, may it be trend lines, supply and demand, liquidity grabs, whatever. I'm going to be teaching about this for free, so if you appreciate this, go and subscribe and wait for the video. It's going to be good. So as a beginner, go ahead and take one of these strategies and learn them. If you just want to learn how to trade supply and demand, for example, right, just focus on that. And if you have some wins, that's good, but know that nothing is forever, right? And eventually you will end up losing a little bit. That's perfectly fine, because one of the pillars of trading, number one, is having risk management, right? So if you have a good risk management, losing won't affect you as much, because you managed your risk. You just risked a certain percentage of your account, and then you're good to go. Accept the fact that you are going to lose every now and then, but in the grand scheme of things, you are winning. That's what we all want. So to cut it short, as a beginner, focus on one strategy, accept losses, and actually stick to the strategy. Learn everything there is to need to know about it. What is rally-based rally, drop-based drop? What is a good supply zone? What is a good demand zone? What even is the difference? How to draw them zones, when to not go with a supply zone, when to not go with demand zone, and when to exactly go for one. Everything that needs to be talked about and learned from, learn it, and then stick for it for a month, 2, 3, whatever the case may be, and actually collect data. You know what I'm saying? Then, if you kind of feel okay with that, if that is something that suits you, actually decide to become an expert and max that out to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's the only thing you will ever need, and that's perfectly fine. If, however, you also want to be able to trade, every market condition, almost every market condition, maybe then switch over, like use supply and demand on your main account or on your funded accounts, whatever, if you're already somewhat profitable or whatnot, and then go on and study even more. Because in your journey with just trading supply and demand, as you're progressing towards becoming an intermediate trader, you will see that sometimes there's like liquidity grabs. Your supply zone, for example, actually held. It was just a quick liquidity grab, and there's nothing you could do about it. Maybe you hit your stop loss, but maybe that could have been prevented. Once again, losing a trade is not bad, but if you can become better, try your best to become better, right? So after you somewhat become profitable trading supply and demand, for example, or you find out that this is absolutely nothing for you, just go into the next topic. After you completely main supply and demand, now think to yourself, okay, what is interesting to me as well? Do I want to be able to catch reversals? Maybe I should be looking into key levels, into candlestick patterns, and I should be looking into everything else, trend lines, whatever the case may be. Let's say you made this for another few months, and then you can go to all the other stuff. Why is that so important to me? To me, it's important because way back then when I started with trading, I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed by the amount of strategies there is. There's gonna be people who say that supply and demand is the only thing you will ever need. They are right? I mean, once again, if you're profitable, that's perfectly fine. Then you're winning. We all just want to win in trading, right? But if you want to be able to trade other market conditions, that are in front of you, just go ahead and learn some more things. It's basically like, imagine yourself being in a survival situation outside, right? And let's just say you're an absolute expert in hunting, but the only thing that you hunt, for example, is deers. You exactly know where they live, you know exactly what to do. That's good, but let's just assume, for example, weeks go by and you don't see a single deer. What do you do now? Maybe sometimes you see some wild chickens or something like this, and then you can kind of like become an expert on also to like how to hunt them, essentially. And before you know it, by doing this over and over again with different animals, aka different strategies, you are now an expert with the whole market, or like the whole forest. In that metaphor, the market is the forest, and anything that lives within, is a strategy. If you are somewhat good, or at best, an expert with this, you can trade or hunt every strategy that you want, and that makes you, first of all, way more powerful in the market. It also makes you more calmer. Will it be overwhelming? Yes, of course. You're trying to learn a new skill here, of course. Damn, it's getting very dark right now. But yeah, so once again, because it is a little bit contradictory for the last time, I'm gonna sum it up. As a beginner, go ahead and learn one strategy. Pick one, stick with it, learn it, fail, win, do everything that you need to do, but learn this strategy. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever the case may be. Go about demo trading if you need it, or go into the live market condition to actually feel the emotions. There's gonna be a video on that too. If you feel good enough about it, that's perfectly fine, right? After some time, either just stick with that because you're so comfortable with this and you don't even want to have more. That's perfectly fine. Congratulations, you just became profitable. However, if you want to increase your toolbox, just think about, okay, what could I do now? What was something that was occurring to me while I was trading supply and demand? Okay, there were liquidity grabs. Maybe by that time you don't even know what liquidity grabs is. After you mained one strategy, go to the next. While you are still trading supply and demand, maybe on your main account, take a demo account and also learn something new, trend lines. Because before you know it, you will have even more confluence. Let's just say you become an intermediate trader and now you're able to get spot on perfect, right, trend lines, and you combine them with supply and demand. Now you have like a supply zone, you have a trend line, then you have a break, retest of the supply zone and of the trend line, and you have a beautiful trade. You will feel even more confident in that trade because you have two confluences going into your direction. Then you add key levels, support and resistance, whatever the case may be, and you can completely just set the trade and forget about it, So what I want to say with this is basically just every strategy can work in the market. It's just a question of when. Like, timing is a big factor in this. And a video on timing is also, planned on this channel. It is coming. So once again, it's one of the many free videos, one of the many toolbox videos that are coming to this channel, all completely for free. So if you appreciate this, then I would appreciate you liking this video. Maybe comment down below what you want to know about, any strategies, any, questions to psychology, whatever the case may be. It's all coming to the channel for free. And also consider subscribing, of course, because when stuff comes out, you don't miss it out. Actually, down here you can see my Instagram. You can follow me there. Any updates, trading stuff, it's just going to be on this Instagram channel. But one important thing, I will never reach out to you first, right? So if you follow me and you, for example, send me a screenshot, yeah, my trade worked, and bro, I'm going to be happy for you, right? And I'm going to answer you, hey, that's great, right? Just text this guy, this one. I will never reach out to you first. Don't get scammed, guys. This is me. Everybody else is not me. And one more thing, if you are outside of the US and you're still looking for a broker, to trade on, the first link into the description is actually a link where you can sign up for the same broker that I use. I used this broker even way before I did YouTube. So I trust in this broker. But if you, for example, a little bit iffy, but always do your own research. But this is the broker that I'm using. I had no troubles whatsoever in this 2 years of trading. And without any further ado, that's gonna be it for the video right now. I hope that I could help somebody, and go make it happen, guys.